So welcome back to Drum Electric. Are you ready to upgrade your streaming setup? I know, they're getting a bit ridiculous, but that's what this is all about, ridiculous streaming setups. So if you've watched my videos on how to live stream drums, if you haven't, you can check them out up here. But if you have, you've noticed that I will be using these sort of little things. This is the Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini recorder. It's great, but it does hold some problems. For example, you can have only one HDMI input, and then that output will take up as many ports as you have on your computer. So for example, I have 4 USB ports on my MacBook Pro, which is from 2017. That means I can have only, well, in this case, a maximum of 3 of these, because one of those USB-C ports is taken up by my charger. It also means that if I want to switch cameras and add effects and stuff like that, I have to use external software, which when you're running all of the audio and all of the visual through the Mac, and then you load up Zoom, the fans are definitely blowing. It gets a little bit ridiculous, especially when you have to switch between them all, and it's a lot. It was really fun, and it is great. It worked for what I wanted it to do, but I need a little bit of an upgrade. So this is a fix to that. I recently got this guy. This is the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. Now, this is just the Mini, this isn't the Pro or the ISO, this is actually the cheapest one out of the lineup. You can go fancier, and if you need to do that, if you do more live streaming rather than on Zoom, then I recommend looking into those ones. But I'm just using this for stuff like Zoom and online lessons. This is something that I wished I'd invested in before I got those mini recorders. This thing is a beast and it's really good. And it means that I can have up to, as you can see on the picture, up to 4 inputs on this blurry picture because it's out of focus. Up to 4 camera inputs rather than just the one that I was stuck with on the mini recorder. So enough chit chat, let's get this thing unboxed and see what it actually looks like and a little brief how to set it up. So here it is, this is the box. It's really simple, it's really nicely lit out. There's nothing really on the front that I want to get into because I want the thing inside. So, I'm going to switch it round, have a little open. So the first thing we see is the normal manuals and stuff like that. Pretty simple. It's just the welcome pack with the ridiculous rig that we all want. I mean, who doesn't want that? With planes on your screen and trees on the outside. It's just, that's the setup I'm aiming for on Zoom. But you also have all of like the stickers and installers and DaVinci and stuff like that. I'm going to put those to one side because, you know, manuals. And then we have the power supply and then the different plugs. In my case, I'm from the UK, so I'm going to use the 3-pin one. It's nice and easy. It just slides. See if I can get that up here. It just slides on like that, and then you have a plug. So if you're from somewhere else, or if you're traveling with this thing, it means that you can pretty much, by the looks of it, get into any country. Which is good. I apologise for the polystyrene sound that's just about to happen. Oh, that was clean. Nice. Underneath that, you then have the ATEM Mini. Nice and clean, nice and clear. It's right there. There's no extra packaging, which I really like. And there it is. So, that is the box. Don't need that anymore. And this is the ATEM Mini. So it's really nicely made, it's really compact, and it's just generally all around nice. So I'll head through all the buttons in a minute, but all of these are your main cameras, and then you've got all the various other buttons that light up and are shiny and is the most entertaining and best thing in the world, and let's be honest, is the main reason why I bought this, because it lights up. So when it comes to plugging it in, you'll notice that it doesn't actually have an on button, which is a little bit unhelpful, but that's fine. It does make up for it in the fact that you can screw in the power supply. So if you accidentally kick the cable or someone else kicks the cable, it will just drag your whole setup out of the way and probably boot out all of the HDMIs and stuff like that. But it won't become unplugged. So that's good. So as you can see, everything lit up, and let's have a quick skim through of all of these buttons. So the main ones that we'll use and you'll need are 1, 2, 3, and 4, and these are the different cameras. So you can just hit that and it will switch between whichever one you've got plugged into the HDMI port. Right now, I don't have anything plugged in because, well, I've just unboxed it. But once it's all plugged in, you can switch between them. If you want to change the transition between them, then you just head over here. Right now it's on cut, but if I wanted a nice fade, then you can hit auto, and then you can also fade to black, FTB, if you really want to. And when it's on that, it'll flash at you, so you know that it's on a black screen. Hit that one more time and it'll fade back up. So if you want to change the transitions, they're really simple, but up above the cut button, you've got duration, and that's how long the different fades last. So 0.5 seconds all the way up to 2 seconds. And then you've also got a mix and dip effect, which you can just tap. And again, they have separate transition times, which is quite nice. And then finally, the 4 buttons above that are the different fades. So you can have a black screen that fades across, or you can have the actual video pushed across the screen, stuff like that. Really simple, but it's nice to have there at a push of a button. Coming back over here above the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, you'll notice these little clusters of buttons. Now the AFV button, that means audio follow visuals. So if you have a camera with a mic plugged in and a different camera, that's for example my overhead rig, and that has a different mic plugged in, and I want to switch between those two audio sources, then I'm just going to hit the AFK button on it, and then I can switch between the different audios when I switch to that camera. So for example, number 1 is the first camera with that audio going. If I hit 2, then you'll see the AFK button go red, and that means that audio is live. Same with 3 and 4. If you don't want that at all, you can just hit the off buttons, and then if you do want that audio just on, you just hit the on button, and then that'll just have the audio coming through from that camera. So if you've got multiple mics around the room and you want all of them on, like a maniac, then you can turn all of them on if you want to. Then the little up and down arrows underneath that is to control the volumes of it. You can't actually see how loud it is, or the signal, but you can in the software. Above that, you then actually have mic input. So you have a 3.5mm jack input on the back for mic 1 and 2. So if you want one audio source for everything that's not through a camera and goes directly in, you can actually do that up here. It's the on and off button, and then again you can control the volumes with the up and down arrows. In the software you can actually have a delay, so sometimes like cameras like this, there's a really small delay between the picture coming through compared to the audio. So if I had a mic plugged in and then this camera, the audio will come through first and there'll be a delay when you see it. So you can actually time that in the software, which I'll get to in a little second. Moving across to the right, next to the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, you've got a still and a black. That black is just a black screen, and then the stills, you can actually import like pictures and stuff into the software. You can't do motion graphics with this button, but you can throughout the software, but that just means it brings up the still image. And then finally, up on the right, you've got picture-in-picture, which basically means you have this image, and then you can have another one like in the different corners. You can change the different sizes of the things, again on the software, but this is a really quick button, and then you can just turn that on and off accordingly. So finally, after that, you just have the little key switch on and off, again to do with the software. As you can tell the theme, this is really simple, and you can make it really powerful with the software. So now we know what all of the buttons do. Here's the fun part, which is getting the software. So you remember these fun welcome cards right at the beginning, right? There's this big welcome pack. Now this welcome pack, when it's in focus, actually goes through why there isn't a manual included. So when I got the mini recorders, there was an SD card that was included that had the manual and the software. So, you know, save the environment. There's no more manual, there's no more SD card that comes with it, which is great. I fully support that, and it also means you get the most up-to-date software. But it's not the clearest thing in the world. So all of this software that I've been mentioning so far is the ATEM software control, which is all good and well, but it's not actually called that on the website. So if we follow the link to the website that it gives, which is blackmagicdesign.com/welcome, this is just a little welcome pack, as you can see, that has all the manuals and things like that. So if we go English instruction manual, I love this guy's setup, it's just ridiculous. Scroll down to what we've got, so in this case it's the ATEM Mini. Where is it? There it is. ATEM Mini. I'm not using the Pro or the ISO, like I said earlier. I'm just using the standard Mini. So that's the one. And then we get this page here that has the manual and the software and then the forum and social media stuff. So the manual here is the most up-to-date one, 25th September 2020, as of recording this video. And then the software here. So if you head to the support page, you come with this. Hello. I'm going to say Marseille? Hello, sir. Then we want to choose our product. So in this case, it's the ATEM Live Production switches because we have the ATEM Mini. When it's not selected, it's not highlighted in blue. When it is selected, it's highlighted in blue. Easy as that. Then we scroll down to the latest downloads, and this is what we need. The ATEM switches 8.5.3 update as of this video. It may be further up ATEM switches 9 or whichever one whenever you're watching this video, but this is the one. It's called the ATEM switches, and it does say update, which is mildly confusing, but this will give you the full software. So that took me far too long to try and find. So once you have downloaded the software, it looks a bit like this, and this is where you can do all the really fancy stuff. Now, I won't go into this software in this video, but as I play around with this a little bit more, I'll dive in and show you my settings and things like that. But in here, you can do stuff like the media down here, which is where you upload your stills. You also can control all of the audio, and if you're using a Blackmagic camera, then you can control the color of it. This does not work on standard ones. I'm using the Canon 80D, which is what you're seeing right now, and it doesn't change the colors through it, which is a little bit annoying, but it's another excuse to buy more fancy cameras, so that's good. On here as well, I will just show you where you can change the picture-in-picture stuff, so that's the upstream key 1, and when it's turned on, you can change all the settings here, so the X, Y on position and size to get it to where you want. Just pre-warning, don't then press the buttons on the ATEM. You can hit the on and off switch to trigger on and off, but it won't save to that specific button, which is a bit annoying. But you can save this software preset, so you can just make your preset, load this up, and it will load onto the ATEM. You can actually quit this, and it will save all the settings and work with the settings that you've preloaded, but outside of that, just a little pre-warning there. The other software that comes with it is the ATEM setup, and this one is pretty easy. It just shows you your IP addresses, stuff like that, and then the switching mode where you can cut straight off, or you can preview what you want to see before you cut, which is program preview, and then a few picture keys, chroma key, stuff like that. Button brightness, so you can turn that down if they are slightly too aggressively bright, because they are quite bright. Then you can hit save. It's really simple, that one, but at least you've got that there. And that's pretty much it. That's the ATEM Mini. Like I said earlier, I will be going more in depth on how I've set this up with zoom and the different camera angles and stuff like that, but I just wanted to get it out of the box and show you guys exactly what this thing is and why you should think about getting it if you are looking to upgrade your streaming setup, your zoom setup, stuff like that. As always, if you have any questions, please lob them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for all of our shiny new content, and I will see you in the next one.